audio going through to OBS. That might be handy.
Beep boop bop. Oh my god. Something loud. If you're talking, you're muted. Yeah. Aw, babe. It's a working title. Hello. I'm really tired. I went to work at 4 a.m., so if I yawn or if I'm like low energy, that's why. It's not gonna stay. Well, I mean, it doesn't just have to be specifically about Diablo. Like, are there any other game skill trees that you think could be improved or, like, worked on to be as good, but if not better? Oh shit. Who is it? We're very prepared here, obviously. You're muted, babe. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I mean, they've dropped the ball in more ways than one, so are you really surprised? Fair enough. Am I remembering this incorrectly? But did Final Fantasy 15 had a skill tree? Oh my gosh, did it have a skill tree? Oh, that's kind of boring. But I mean, like, that's what we would actually use if we had that skill. Like, I know you and I would be doing that constantly. Like, if that power was like IRL. What the fuck? I. Oh my god. Fair enough. Now, I have a very specific question for you. So, someone like me, I don't play any games with skill trees because, to be frank, they kind of like intimidate me. Because that's like a lot of reading, like a lot of deciding, like where you want things to go. And so for people like me and other people that might be like intimidated by like, oh my god, I have to work this hard. Like it feels like work. Like to like look at all this and be like, okay, well I'll put this into here, and then that's gonna go to that. What would be a good game, in your opinion, to like start someone off on skill trees? Thank you. Someone's giving you bits. Yeah, there's it's Koro Okami 1400. Yeah. Hi Koro. I I can check it, and he also knows that his microphone is not working well, but we can't really do anything about it. So we apologize for the crap audio. Wait, 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 wait. He says that there's no sound at all. Uh oh. Okay. Well, shit. If you can hear me, Koro, like, is there any sound coming out of anything?
Okay. Well, I fixed my microphone issue just now. It was set to the wrong thing. And I think I see what's happening here.
You let me know if you can hear anyone. And I'm so sorry that we're having technical difficulties. Uh, oh, you can hear him now?
Okay.
Are you saying anything, babe?
I just was, yeah. So I found out the problem was that OBS had the wrong microphone chosen, so
Oh
yeah.
no!
So go figure. OBS does that. Thanks, OBS.
Oh, shoot. Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I also put some gain on your input, so you should be coming through a bit clearer now, too.
Okay, hopefully. Also, thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't know what happened. It was showing my levels going up before we started the stream, and apparently as soon as I hit go, it was like, "Oh, you probably want to use this microphone instead, right?" And it was wrong.
So, shoot, like, a lot of your rant we didn't hear at all.
Well, shit.
Well, I mean, you can go through it again. This is why before we start getting into like the meat of things, we should just talk about whatever and then stop the stream and then check.
You know what? That's a fair point.
But to be fair, we've had very long nights and very long mornings, so thank you for bearing with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, whenever I go AFK like that, that's me bringing up my virtual desktop so I can see what's happening on my computer screen. But basically, to summarize everything I've been saying, and I apologize again that you haven't been able to hear it, is skill trees in games that actually take the points that you put into weaker skills and make them affect the higher skills are good. And games that don't do that aren't bad, they just aren't as good. My main point of reference is Diablo 2, because I think that game handles skill trees and stuff the best out of any RPG, because it does exactly that. You put a point in one skill that you learn at a low level, and you keep putting points into it, and it gets stronger and stronger. And then when you unlock the next skill, the points from that previous skill affect the newer one and make it stronger, which is really nice. And vice versa. The points that you put into the newer skill affect the weaker one, or not the weaker, affect the first one and make it stronger because they're situational, they're different. And it's nice. And you had just asked me what's a really good game to get into skill trees and start understanding them and kind of getting used to them. And I definitely say Diablo 2. Everything is very...
Shock.
Yeah, I know. It's because, like, I guess it's also because it was the first game I really played that had skill trees and stuff as a part of it. And it's explained really well. It's very much, you hover your mouse over the skill, it tells you exactly what it does, and it tells you exactly how putting points into that skill affects other skills in other trees or just further down that same tree. And I was talking about how the druid is such a personal favorite because there's so many different play styles. And it's interesting because of how those play styles mix together. Like, I'm a big fan of either a werewolf druid or an elemental druid. The werewolf skill tree is all about putting points in one thing to make it last longer and give you more of a health buff. One of them makes you attack faster and attack more, what's the word, accurately, so that you hit things more often. And then you have other skills down the tree that are like, do you want to poison enemies whenever you attack them? Do you want to steal life whenever you attack them? Or do you want to swing your claws 5 times really fast and just decimate everything around you? Like, you have those things you can do. And it's interesting because, like, that's the shape-shifting tree is one skill tree, but you have so many options. You can do the poison werewolf, you can do the fast-swinging werewolf, the life-stealing werewolf, you can be a werebear. And then the werebear is like, do you want fire damage whenever you backhand something? Or do you want to, like, send out a shockwave whenever you swing your big old fuzzy paws? Like, what do you want to do? And, like, they all synergize in different ways. Like, if you want to be a poison werewolf, you have a synergy with one of the vines in the summoning tree that's like, what the vine does is it follows you around and it poisons groups of enemies. And every point you put into that little vine strengthens the amount of poisoning that the werewolf does by like 20%. And so it's like, okay, now I have choices. Like, now I can bounce between putting points into the poison skill for the werewolf to up its damage. But every point I put into the poison vine increases its health, the amount of damage it does, and it strengthens my poison werewolf skill. So it's like, oh, okay, all right. And it's the same thing with the fire claws thing for the werebear and the werewolf. You put points into that, and it has synergies with the elemental tree with Molten Boulder and Firestorm, where it's like every point you put into these makes your transformation hit harder with this fire spell, and vice versa. Putting points into this makes those, like, fire magics hit harder. Like, well, you can put points wherever you want, and it'll all affect each other, and none of them are obsolete because of it. And I think that's... Oh, no, go ahead.
Sorry. Just, so to, like, get a conclusive answer, like, is there any other game that you would recommend for someone just starting to get into games for skill trees that might be like intimidated or think it's like boring? Or do you like wholeheartedly recommend Diablo 2?
Um, ooh, that's a I really recommend Diablo 2 just because of everything I said. Like, it very clearly shows you, and you very clearly see the effects of every skill. Um, I think probably another game I'd recommend might be Borderlands. I don't like its skill trees as much, and when my audio wasn't working, I was saying that. But the skill trees are still okay. They're still like each character gets 3 skill trees and lets you play the character in different ways. The skill trees in Borderlands are just much more passive, and by that I mean in the elemental tree for the druid in Diablo, pretty much every skill is a different spell, a different ability that you can physically use. You know, Firestorm, Molten Boulder, you can summon a volcano, you can send out tornadoes, like every one of those is a different ability. And most of Borderlands skills, from what I remember, are like, oh, every point you put into this skill raises the damage of this weapon type, or it raises the damage of your one class skill, or, you know, this character turns invisible, and every point you put into this point or this skill makes you stay invisible longer, kind of thing. And so they're very passive, like they don't give you completely brand new abilities you can use and change the game and do all that kind of stuff, but they're very easy to like, I just want to stack points into this thing so that I can be invisible for as long as I can, and I want to stack points into this one because I like this kind of gun and I want it to do as much damage as it can.
Okay, so like Borderlands would be a little bit more easy for someone just starting out, and then if they find that they like it, then you would recommend Diablo 2, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so. Uh,
Okay, okay, I gotcha.
yeah, and a lot of that is determined too by like how into shooters and stuff you are. Like Borderlands it's a looter shooter, so it's, you know, you're running around with guns and all the guns do numbers of damage over heads, and you have defense numbers and shields and all that fun stuff and critical hit
Yeah,
chances
and
and
also, I was gonna say like I know that you love Diablo 2, but think I think the art style and just like the game itself, just like the way its like aesthetic is, might turn some people off. So I was like, is there anything else you would recommend? Because I love watching you play it, but I don't think I would have the patience for it because I'm a very aesthetic person.
oh no, and that's totally fair. Like I like the aesthetic just because again, I grew up with it. It's one of the first like major
Zelda.
it's one of the first major RPGs I got into, but I totally get like not enjoying the aesthetic because it is dated. I mean, we're in 2022. I think the expansion for Diablo 2 came out 21 years ago now, and
Oh my god.
I know. And the remaster looks good. I'll give it that, but it's still like, you know, a 3D quote unquote upgrade running over an old pre-rendered sprite top-down RPG. Uh,
Yeah, and I could definitely see how like that would turn a lot of people off. Like, oh, it talked about skill trees. It's ugly. Bleh.
yeah, I totally understand that. Oh, excuse me. Diablo 2 is not, especially classic Diablo 2, is not a pretty game by any fucking standards anymore.
It's really not.
Yeah, like unless you buy the remaster, I hope you can handle 20 frames per second Donkey Kong Country looking bullshit.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's delightful. Diablo 3 didn't do any better. It looks like a cartoony World of Warcraft shit version of Diablo.
Well, let's not get you started on Diablo 3 because when we first met IRL, which was in October of 2019, I'm pretty sure. Like
Yeah, I think
we
so.
went to go get dinner, and we were hanging out at the bar just getting drinks, and it
Oh
was like a
God.
running joke between us before we actually met because
Yeah,
we met on here,
I remember that.
and so there was just like a lull in the fucking conversation, and I just went, so what's wrong with Diablo 3? And you were like, don't even get me started.
I'm pretty sure as soon as you said that, I had my drink in my mouth and I like put it on the table a little harder than I should have. And was just like, so much.
You were like, let me tell you. Boy, do
Honestly,
I have some words.
it started a fucking tirade of just like so many things are wrong with Diablo 3. And I went,
You're like, how much time do you have?
honestly. And like at that point, you were exposed to it. You were exposed to my infamous buzz/drunk Diablo 3 rant.
Oh, it went on forever, and even the bartender like turned around at one point and was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah,
Like,
guys,
what's going on
guys.
here?
I don't know if you know this. I might do shows like this on the internet for fun. The truth is though, I I can get annoying real quick when I talk about the things I love. And hey, don't I'm not saying that to shit on myself. I'm saying that because I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure most people that hear my Diablo 3 rant think to themselves, "Oh my fucking god."
Well, they signed up for this. Anyone who's watching this right now knows what they're getting themselves into. I'm not saying you should go on the Diablo 3 rant. I'm just saying in general.
That's fair.
Don't do it today.
Yeah, honestly.
Please.
I'll spare the world today. Tomorrow might not be so fucking lucky.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about besides skill trees? I don't know how further you can take that topic, to be totally honest.
Um, really the only other thing I can think of is like potentially other examples of games that have skill trees that I feel like don't do them well. The only other one I can really think of is Path of Exile because Jesus Christ, that fucking skill tree. I think, God, I'd have to look it up, but they're at like over 300 or 400 points on the skill tree for that game. It's dumb, and I hate it. Like, Diablo separates skill points and attribute points, because attributes are like, oh, strength, dexterity, health, whatever. And every time you level up, you get 5 of those, and you put them wherever you want to, increase your character's abilities. And then you get your skill point. Path of Exile mixes them together and is like, oh, you leveled up, you get a skill point. And the skill tree is this vast thing with hundreds of little nodes, but picking them doesn't give you new skills or new abilities. Each one of those nodes is like, this adds 5 to your strength. This adds 5 to your strength. This one adds 10 to your strength.
But why?
I exactly. Like, I don't. Granted, the way they work skills is kind of neat, having them as gems that you slot in into your armor and your weapons and whatever, but like, I don't want to play a fucking game where if I pick the wrong direction on the skill tree, I've fucked my character because I'm going to start putting points into the wrong stats because I can't go anywhere else. Like, there's a website. Yeah, there's a website that is literally a calculator of that skill tree so that you know which direction you're going in to put points into your character. And if I have to go to if I have to go to a website to figure out which direction I need to go in on your skill tree to build an okay character, I'm not very interested anymore. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Like, your skill tree might just fucking suck, game.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the most popular games on Steam because it's free and items work great. It's probably the closest thing to Diablo 2 in terms of items and like the way the world generates and like all of that. But man, that skill tree is just not okay. Not to me at least. If there's someone watching that really enjoys that game and its skill tree, I absolutely don't want to shit on it. That's not why I'm here. I don't want to shit on it and say it's bad and you should be ashamed. I'm not a fan.
I get you. Changing gears. Speaking of games on Steam, tell me about Zenith, because you've been playing it, right?
I have. I've been playing it because if you buy it on Quest or Rift, you get it for both systems. Because it's cross-platform. Me playing on the Quest, I can play with people that are on PC or PlayStation VR or other Quest users, which is nice. It's not bad so far. It definitely feels... I'm trying to think of the word for it, and I hate the fact that this word is going to sound a little insulting. It feels kind of basic right now.
Oh,
Like it.
talking shit.
I know. Like it's fun. It's probably the closest thing to an actual MMO I think I've played in VR so far. But like it's very much there's a term to describe it of an MMO where you start in one area, you do quests and level up, you go to a higher level area, you do quests and level up, you go to the next area. It's a theme park MMO. You are going on a tour.
Sorry, it sounds a little similar to what I'm doing right now in the newest Pokemon game. Sorry.
No, that's totally fine because in all reality, Pokemon has basically been like a series of single player kind of theme park games. Like here's this world with all this stuff to do, but if you go here before you're a high enough level, you aren't going to be able to make it far, if anywhere. And that's absolutely a thing. Like that's World of Warcraft is that. Guild Wars is that. Zenith has so far proven to be that. And it's the only thing that kind of sets it apart is that it follows Guild Wars standard of if I'm level 40, which is the level cap, and I decide to go back to the level 5 through 10 area, it levels down my health and everything to make it so that all of the enemies are actually still difficult for me.
I don't know if I like that or not.
I kind of get it, especially because if I remember right too, if you're level 40 and you go to a low level area, killing an enemy will give you the same amount of experience and everything as killing a level 40 enemy. So it basically...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it basically just makes it like, hey, I'm at the level cap, but I don't want to just hang out in this little section of the map that is built for level 40 people. I want to roam. I want to do stuff all over the world. And they're like, cool, we'll level you down so that way the entire world is open to you and you should get like the same amount of experience and loot and everything as you would in this one dedicated area.
Oh, I don't think I understood it when you said it the first time, but now I get it. That's actually really nice.
It is. It's also nice too because like if I'm level 20 or something and you join in and you're level 1, it means that I can come help you in the level 1 area and do quests with you, but still get rewards and stuff that are built for my character level.
That means I gotta grind. Well, I need to buy the game first. I don't have it.
That's fair. And it's been pretty good. Not many classes, 2 so far. You can basically play as a mage that uses 2 like wrist-mounted gun things, and then you do gestures to like cast spells. Or you can be a blade master where you dual wield swords and you stab things.
That's the one that I want.
Yeah. Each class has 3 roles: damage, tank, or support. And you can change roles at any time, I found out by accident.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm playing a support mage right now just to try it. But I found out that, yeah, if you open your skill tree and click on, like, either damage or tank or whatever, it just switches you right then and there to that role.
Holy crap, that's awesome. So you're not like stuck in like, oh, I thought I would like this, but shit, I don't. But now I'm stuck with it, or else I just have to make a whole new character. That's really nice.
Yeah, and they all level separately too. So I think I'm level 9 with my support mage. If I decide I want to try a damage mage, I'll click on it and it'll reset me to level 1 for that role, and then I just level them up separately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you have multiple character slots, so you can be like, oh, I want to like level cap a mage, and then also have a second character, and I want to play a blade master, and I can swap between them by logging out and logging back in and picking that or whatever.
What's the third one that's going to be introduced sometime this year?
Cyber Ninja.
Cyber Ninja. That sounds so like 2008. Like no one understands me.
It kind of looks it too. I'm not gonna lie.
I love that. That's great.
They've come out with concept art for it, and that was the very first thing I thought of when I saw it. Was like, oh, cool. Shadow the Hedgehog drew that.
You listen to My Chemical Romance, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what I thought of.
Oh my god. My Chemical Romance and Butt Rock.
Butt Rock.
Butt Rock.
Butt Rock. Like the description of the character sounds cool. Like you have like a hook shot that you can use to like pull yourself to enemies and do like a backstab for a ton of damage, and then use it again to like pull yourself away from them and like throw knives at them as you're running away, and like sounds like a hella mobile, and if you're not used to VR, hella motion sickness inducing class.
Oh god, that's so upsetting. I wish I didn't have motion sickness.
Like, I'm lucky. It's really hard to make me motion sick unless someone starts spinning me or something. But yeah, like you can't like use thumbsticks for movement in VR, or it's
No, I cannot.
yeah, like it's bad for you if you do it. And I'm glad that the game has holoport just like VRChat does. I think that's nice. I'm interested to see how well holoport works with that class, because I feel like, oh, cool, I can walk up to the enemy and start attacking, but as soon as I want to start using skills and the hook shot and stuff, I'm going to have to mute myself because someone's going to hear me vomiting on my way to that enemy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get really good at multitasking really fast.
Honestly. I know you have the options of vignettes when you move, so like the screen fades black around your vision to tunnel vision, because I guess that helps with motion sickness, but I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know if you can do it with holoporting or if it affects certain skills or whatnot. I have no idea.
No. I'm not even playing the game.
Yeah, honestly. Do I have your... Yeah, okay. Oh, man.
What?
This is just comfy. I like doing this.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like just hanging out and doing VR podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, should we talk about something topical and like hot and like shit that just happened?
Hell yeah.
Alright, do you want to talk shit on IHOP and Chipotle?
Oh my god. So, yeah, you know more about it than I do. I will let you open.
Okay, well, so I got home from work. We actually both got home at the same time because he came to visit me. And so he very lovingly made me some food, and I was like, do you mind if I just sit on the couch and like just scroll on TikTok? And he was like, yeah, no, feel free. And I was like, okay. So I was scrolling through, and it came past this one person. I wish I could remember their name to give them credit, but they were like, you know what pisses me off? Like, we all know what Chipotle's doing right now, and if you haven't seen, someone had a screenshot of them ordering Chipotle on the mobile app, I think for delivery. I don't know if only certain Chipotle's do it, or if it was through some like third-party app like Uber Eats or like DoorDash or Postmates or whatever. But they had the screenshot and like a little text box saying like, whoa, 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 like that's super generous, but like, you know, you can only tip like up to this, like, I think it was 50%. And the person was like, it's snowing like crazy outside, and I have this for delivery. There should not be a cap on what I can give the person that's risking their life to bring me my food.
Yeah.
So that's a whole thing. And then, you know, so the person talked about, you know, that, and then they were like, funny thing, I went to, I ordered IHOP online for pickup, and so I went to go, you know, I went to go pick it up, and they were like, the person at the cashier was like, did you order online? And they go, yeah. And they're like, did you pay online? Uh-huh. Did you tip online? Yeah. Did it go through? Yeah, but for future reference, please don't do that. And they were like, why? And they're like, the employee was like, tips made through the app don't go to the employees working at that restaurant. All of the tips through that go to corporate.
And that's such a huge load of shit. Like,
that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, like at that point, you're not even tipping, you're just paying a fucking fee to corporate for buying their own fucking food.
Exactly, like you're already paying for the food, and then they're like, ooh, more money, thank you. Like, we didn't do anything. Ugh.
I know.
It's so frustrating.
I'm really glad that they point that out, though, because, like, I think my big thing is that if that is through a third-party service, that makes me worried to tip, like, anyone through, like, Uber Eats or anything, because, well, okay. No, hold on. I work for Uber Eats, and I know that the tips go directly to the drivers. That one I'm not worried about. But yeah, like, Denny's, if I'm putting in an order for pickup, I usually order through the Denny's website. Like, so now that worries me. Like, has every time that I've tipped them, has that just gone straight to fucking, like, Denny's corporate instead of the people that actually made me my fucking food?
Yeah, honestly, like, you can't trust anyone now. And, not to, like, get too off topic, but, like, it kind of reminds me of what you told me about Starbucks a few days ago. How, like, they've introduced this new policy where, like, if you're on the clock, you're not allowed to sit at all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that was a really big thing. Again, same thing, I wish I knew who to credit for this, but someone posted a thing that was like a list of rules or whatever that's changing at Starbucks. And one of them was, while you are on shift, you are not to be sitting. You are not to...
Which is the dumbest thing ever.
It is. I still think it's dumb that, like, basic retail chains like Target and stuff, you aren't allowed to sit when you're just fucking standing at the register. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Side note on that, you don't know about the grocery brand Aldi, right?
No, you've told me about them, but I've never personally, like, experienced.
Yeah, so, I grew up, going to Aldi, you know, like, getting groceries. The cashiers there, they have chairs built into, like their little nook. And I've never heard anyone complain about it. And it just blows my mind. Yeah, like, it's like you said, I'm not allowed to sit at my job. I haven't been allowed to sit at, like, most of my jobs, but it doesn't make any sense, because we're there for, like, you know, 6 to, like, 12 hours each day. Why the fuck aren't we allowed to be comfortable? Because, like, as a consumer who has gone to all these places that we're talking about, Denny's, IHOP, Chipotle, like, you know, grocery stores, it doesn't bother me. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be happy at your job. Like, I'm so sick of this, like, old school, like, mentality. Like, you have to be miserable. You have to be on the grind to, like, have a successful life. And I'll never understand it, and I really hope that we get rid of that idea, because it doesn't make any sense.
I hope we do too. And that actually just reminded me of a story. So I used to work for a large retail chain. You and I go there pretty often to check for squishmallows and stuff.
Are you not going to say it out loud?
No. Well, okay, yeah, fuck it. Target. I used to work at Target.
Take that, Target.
Honestly. Right, I can't flip people off with this avatar, but whatever. So I worked there for 2.5 to 3 years. I pushed carts, I ran cash register, that was pretty much my job. Same thing, not allowed to sit, not allowed to, like, The only time I could sit is when I'm on my breaks in the break room where no customers can see. And I remember once they called me in. I think it was Black Friday actually, and I worked 14 hours that day.
It always is.
And I was like 11 hours in, and my back was fucking killing me because all they had me do that day was work the register. So I was just standing still for like 2 to 3 hours at a time, sit for 15 minutes, go back down, do the same shit. And I remember I like stretched and popped my back a few times, and it hurt really bad, so I like, fuck. And I like just like I didn't sit, but they have that little like cubby area that they stand in, all the registers, and all I did was like lean my back against it just to take some of the weight off. Right as this old decrepit fuck came up into my line, and he looked at me and was just like, "Oh, what are you doing? You fucking relaxing on the job?" I was just like, "Yeah, I've been here for 11 hours. Like my back is killing me." He's just like, "Oh, well, get over it. Like people work longer than that and they're fine."
But it's not a competition. I hate that. Like, oh yeah, I've been here for 11 hours. I'm so tired. Well, some people work 15 hours. That's not the point. You should be comfortable. You should be well taken care of.
Yeah, I ended up getting written up for this interaction actually, because I sat there after he said that and I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been slacking off by just resting my back. And then I just stood there silently. And he was like, I'm buying things. Aren't you going to like cash me out? I was like, no. You're right. People have worked way harder and they've stood for way longer. So you know what? You're just going to stand here for a minute with me. You can just stand for a while. And he sat there and was like, well, I have places to be and I have things to do. And I was like, I have places I want to be. I have things I want to do. And I have my back that hurts. And you know what? I just wanted to rest for a minute. So go ahead. Go ahead. You can take a seat if you want. It's fine. You look like a hard-working old man. You should be fine standing for a while, right?
Oh my god.
He immediately grabbed his shit and went up to customer service and complained. And I remember looking like up at customer service, and while he was complaining, the person working like looked at me. And I just shook my head and like raised my middle finger at the back of the old guy's head. And the person working customer service was like, and just started nodding. And they were just like, sir, we can't have you berating our employees like that. If he just wants to lean back and rest for a second, that's fine. And the guy ended up like taking his stuff off the counter and just dropping it on the floor and walking out of the store.
You're a toddler, sir. You're throwing a tantrum.
Yep.
How am I supposed to take you seriously?
I refused. I ended up getting written up for that. And then I think it was a few months later when I quit finally. And I just stopped giving a shit. There was some guy that came in who told a really like insensitive joke towards women. And I called him out on it. It was just like, wow, like, go ahead and say that again once your wife gets back from grabbing whatever she's grabbing. And he just sat there for a minute. I was just like, I was like, yeah, you know, when your wife gets back, I want her to hear what you just told me. He was like, well, I don't think I should do that. I was like, why? It's just a joke. Like, what was wrong with it? He's like, well, it's funny for you and me. I was like, I don't think it was funny. At what point did I laugh and like agree with you? They're like, oh, that's a thing women do. Like, when did I say that? Why do you expect that to be my reaction?
And then you fucking turn around and like you make a joke about like something that like supposedly all men do, and they're like, no, not all men.
Oh,
so that joke's not okay, but your joke is okay?
Yep, abso-fucking-lutely.
Did I tell you, I think last week, at my job, I had a guy come up, and I was just, trying to, like, shoot the shit with him. I was like, hey, you having a good morning or whatever? And he's like, oh, blah, 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 it's whatever. I think he asked me, like, oh, what do you recommend? And I was like, I don't like the stuff that we serve here. And he was just like, oh, well, then why are you working here? And I was like, well, I have to pay my bills, idiot. And I was like, oh, you gotta pay the bill somehow. And then he just goes on this fucking, like, hushed rant about, like, people, like, you know, staying on like, oh my god, what the fuck is it? It's not disability. Oh,
Unemployment.
unemployment. Yeah, and he was just like, oh yeah, people, you know, they're still on unemployment, blah blah blah. It's been like this many years, like, just going on one of those rants.
Oh God.
I just kind of shook my head and I was like, whatever. And I just told him his total, and he's like, alright, I'll get off my soapbox. And I'm like, I'm not paid enough to fucking deal with this shit.
Honestly, like, guys, people working retail do not give a shit about your personal opinions on the world. Like, I hate.
I don't want to hear your fucking, like, your idealistic, like, bullshit about how the world should be. No one cares. Shut the fuck up. And if you want to talk about it, make your own podcast.
Dude, honestly, like, if you
put all your shit opinions there.
Yeah, if you have to go to Target to tell the cashier about why you think the world is fucked up because your wife won't listen to you, trust me, if the person who is supposed to love you and care about you more than anything in the world doesn't want to listen to you talk about that, no one wants to listen to you talk about that. Not a...
And maybe... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, like, not a single human being wants to put up with you more than your partner does. Like, that's not how it works.
Consider getting a divorce too, because like if they don't want to listen to you, the problem might be with you.
Honestly, yeah. If your partner doesn't want to listen to the bullshit that you're saying, you know, the problem might not be that they disagree with your stance. The problem might be that you have a stance that's a piece of shit.
Yeah, people are full of shit takes nowadays.
Honestly, it's...
Actually, I can't even say nowadays. People have always been full of shit takes.
It's really true. But, like, I remember before you told me about the whole Chipotle and the tip thing, I remember seeing it somewhere and just being like, huh, that's weird. Like, I wonder why they would do that. And then now hearing the IHOP thing is just like, oh fuck, I'm not tipping when I order online directly from a company ever again. If I'm gonna tip, like in cash when I get there.
Exactly, or like if they have like their own like drivers or whatever. Even then, I would be like, just tell your boss you didn't get a tip, please. Like, I want this to be under the table. I want this to go directly to you. So like, please, like, I know what you're doing is against your rules, but I promise I'm not gonna tell anyone. Just put it into your pocket right now and don't tell anybody.
Yeah. God, that actually just reminds me of the job I just quit. Their policy on being tipped. We're supposed to tell whoever wants to tip us that we don't want it first. We're supposed to tell them, oh, we can't accept that before we accept it.
That's so dumb. Because, I mean, like, you did it a few times. You told me you were just like, oh, we can't accept tips.
Yep, exactly. Like, and we're supposed to report, like, every tip that we get to our manager and stuff like that. And, like, I don't see the point in that, but I did it. But the whole, like, oh, you have to refuse first, and then only if they insist are you allowed to actually take it. Like, no, fuck you. Sure, you're paying me decently, but every bit I can get to help with my bills and shit, like, you can go fuck yourself. I'm gonna take it.
And also, if someone's tipping, that means that they're insisting enough, and they liked what you did enough to be like, here's some more money. Just fucking take it.
Yeah, honestly. And, like, I'll shout out to the clients that, like, tipped me and stuff when I was doing work, especially this winter, considering the conditions that I had to fucking, like, work in. Like, you guys are the MVPs. Knowing that we had to work in shit conditions and stuff and being like, hey, we're really thankful, like, take this as a little extra, like, thank you. You made that job a little more bearable for the 3-ish months I was there.
Yeah, I totally get that. I also want to give a shout out. I doubt any of my, regulars will ever see this, but I had to work Christmas Eve. Even though we don't celebrate, it was still kind of a bummer just to have to go in. I think between me and the 2 other people that I was working with, we all walked with like 120 because people were so incredibly generous, and I was so thankful. But on the flip side of things, I really do think no one should ever have to tip. I think everyone should make a livable wage to where they should not have to rely on tips, because I'm about to quit a job where I am relying on tips, and I don't want to have to do that. No one should have to do that, because it puts pressure not only on the person serving you to go above and beyond no matter what's going on in their personal life, and it puts pressure on the person being served, because they're like, oh fuck, do I want to help them eat tonight? Do I want to help them make rent? Or like, the thing that I always kind of feel guilty on is like, I want to treat myself. I want to go out and treat myself.
Yeah.
And I have just enough money to do that. But I don't want to be considered an asshole because I have just enough money to do that for myself, to where the server's going to be like, didn't even fucking tip. Like, what an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the whole idea of...
It fucking sucks.
No, like, I remember... So, the job that I quit before this last one, the one I'm going back to, actually, they have a thing posted in the back of the office that I work in. And last time I was there, it's this giant poster talking about Idaho labor laws. And if I remember right, if you work at a job that technically, like, where you make tips, they can pay you a minimum of, like, $3 or $4 an hour.
What is this, 1965?
Apparently, because also the minimum wage here is still like $7.25 or some bullshit. And it's like $7.25 an hour is not enough for anything now. My previous job the job I just quit was paying me 19, and even then, like, I could manage things on my own, but it's tight. It's rough. And we're not living anywhere super fucking fancy or anything. We're not in the middle of a city, regardless of what the background of this world would have you believe. But like,
they can't see it.
Yeah, that's true. But like, we're not anywhere super fancy. We're not anywhere like huge. We're not in like some bustling metropolis or anything. Shit's still tight. Like necessities, like internet and groceries and all of that, because internet is now a necessity. Like, we live in a day and age where internet is a requirement. Like, paying our rent happens online. Paying electricity happens online. Like, all of these things add up, and it's tight. I can do it. It's real tight. But, like, the idea of paying someone only $7.25 an hour is just fucking horrifying.
And then the reason why they can, like, in their heads justify is because, oh, those minimum wage jobs are for like teenagers and like college students. But that's not realistic anymore. I can't afford to go back to college. I can't afford to get a degree. And even if I did, I think technically my field is always hiring, but still, like, it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't have a lot of, like, marketable skills. And this is not a self-deprecating thing, it's just one of those facts of life. I'm not all that smart, and it's really hard for me to learn things. So I kind of have to rely on those, like, just, like, you know, like the laborers jobs, like warehouse work. I have to rely on those jobs staying, like, you know, plentiful, I guess.
Yeah.
But even out here, I can't even get a fucking warehouse job because I have to be forklift certified. But I can't get forklift certified because I get motion sick on forklifts, no matter what kind they are. It's such a cruel joke. And so, like, unfortunately, I kind of depend on those, like, retail, like, minimum wage jobs that only teenagers should be doing. But, like, that's not okay. Because one of my coworkers that I'm working with right now is in her, like, 60s. And she was like, I need this job. I need it to pay my bills. So, to anyone who ever says, oh, those minimum wage jobs are for teenagers, like, shut the fuck up. Go work retail for one day and tell me that you want teenagers to do those jobs, because that is not fair. It's not right.
No.
Sorry, I got really heated.
No, and that's okay. These are the kind of conversations I really like to have, are the ones where we can get heated and, like, really, really discuss the topic. Like, I think it's fair to say, like, I don't want to just ever do like a podcast where it's like, hey, this is our topic and we're going to talk about it for a little bit and then we're done. Like, no, I want shit like this. I want shit like this where we can talk, we can get heated, we can get invested. Like, it's shit that we're passionate about. And that's, like, equal pay rights and everything are something that I'm hugely passionate about, because with this job I'm going back into, I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have people in that job that are vouching for me, that are getting me my spot back and doing all this stuff. And there's other people out there that don't have that, that are forced to work jobs like you said,
Like
that are,
me.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's people out there that don't have that, and they have to work these jobs where they get paid way less than they need to be, and they have to rely on the kindness of strangers to help make up that little bit of extra. And it's horseshit, because strangers aren't very nice nowadays. Like, there's very few people that are willing to say, "Oh, thank you for the food and the drink. Here's a little extra." Most people are just like, "All right, cool, you did your job, thanks, bye." Like it.
And like, and I totally get that, but like, it sucks for the pressure to be put on them in the first place. Because like, trust me, there are definitely people that come into my job, and I'm just like, just go fuck yourself. You're just so annoying. Just get the hell out of my store. But then there are other people that are just so nice and so sweet, and I'm like, fuck, I feel bad taking money from you, especially on Christmas Eve, because we had a few people come back and they're like, I didn't have cash on me, so I had to run to the bank really quick. If you'd like to withdraw, like, here, take it. And we were like, oh my god, that's so nice, but like, I also feel so bad.
Yeah.
It's just, it's this horrible, like, vicious cycle of like, we feel bad for having to rely on that kindness, and they feel bad having to give that kindness to us because they know that we rely on it. It's just awful. I don't want anyone to feel like that. And the other part that I'm passionate about too is, like, again, I'm going back to like, ooh, those jobs are for teenagers. Again, I challenge anyone that has a quote-unquote real job, work retail for a week. 1 week. And tell me that you don't have fucking anger issues. The way that you talk to, like, employees is the way that people will talk to you, and you're not gonna like it. That's why at my current job, whenever I start to be super nice to someone and they just they don't give me that same energy back, I match their energy and they don't like it. People throw money at me, I throw their change back at them. They walk in, they're like, I want this. I will go to the cash register, $5.30. Fuck you. If you're like that, fuck you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. I think another thing that's complete bullshit about the retail world is the customer is always right bullshit.
No, I'm sorry. Oh, that makes me so mad.
Because it's true. It's so true, though. Andy, Ice Cream Sandwich on YouTube, huge shout out to you. Whoever said the customer...
We love you so much.
Yeah, whoever said the customer is always right is probably a customer and is wrong. Like, whoever coined that term, whoever decided that so many years after that term has been like universally agreed on, can go to fucking hell. Like,
that person should work customer service.
Oh,
and
that's...
realize that the customer is not right.
Yes, it's probably a person who's never worked customer service, and that's the biggest problem. It's someone who's never worked a job like that, who comes in and decides, well, I'm the customer, so I'm right, and what I want is what I get. And it's just like, do you not understand that, like, you are requesting a service? Every fucking business, every employee of any business should have the right to tell you, you're being a dick, get out. No one should have to sit there. Yeah, exactly. No one should have to sit there and kiss your ass for the $5 you're going to spend on something. No one should have to do that. Every business out there, every corporation, whatever, if you have employees that work a retail front where people come in and are assholes, every employee should have the right to sit there and go, hey, you're being a dick, get out, don't come back until you fucking change your attitude. Because you are asking for a service from us, and if you're going to be an asshole about it, I don't have to give you that service. I work for a big old fucking corporation. You think I'm going to miss your $5 fucking dollars?
Honestly, I have, like, hoped for that day, but I haven't had it, and I don't think I ever will. Because there were some people that came into my job where I just wanted to be like, get the fuck out.
Oh, absolutely. It was the same thing when I worked at Target. All the time, you get people that come through the line and are just the biggest assholes. Like, that sit there and are just like, can you go any faster? When they've got 2 fucking shopping carts loaded with shit. Or they come in, these are the worst. If you ever watch this and you're one of the people that does this, go to hell. Go to actual hell. Like, hop in one of the shopping carts that you load up with shit and drive yourself right into the freeway. Anyway, like, The people that take entire, like, 3-ring binders and fill them with coupons, and they're all expired.
Oh,
Like,
I wasn't sure where you were going with this, but absolutely yes.
yeah, like, I had so many people come into Target that just did exactly that. Entire big 3-ring binders full of coupons for their 2 carts full of things. Every coupon is expired, and when I tell them that, they just sit there, hand on the hip, and look at me like, go get a manager because they'll accept it. And guess what? My managers were all fucking pushovers, so they all did. Every single manager I had was...
Another thing? Yeah, sorry, but like that's another thing. Like, if you're a manager that just rolls over to the fucking customers, you're part of the problem. You're accepting and encouraging this behavior, and that's why the customers aren't getting any better because of people like that. That's why, like, when I got my promotion, I was like, I'm not gonna be like that. Like,
No.
because I'm sorry to like to hijack your moment, but I remember I worked for Dave and Buster's, and people would come in all the time with like fake offers through like Groupon or something, even though Dave and Buster's never used that before. So I'd have to be like, we don't accept this. Like, we're not partnered with them. And they'd be like, are you kidding me? You just ruined my whole day. Go get a manager. And then they would be like, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. Like accept it. It's fine. I'm like, they're gonna come back and do this again. Like, are you fucking shitting me right now?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I only ever had one manager at Target that had my back and was super great, and she was such a sweet older lady, and I love her, and I hope she's doing well. Anytime, honestly, anytime any of these like people that were assholes would come into the line and she overheard it, oh my god, this lady knew how to berate people like I had never fucking seen, and she was at the point where like I talked to her. And, like, her and her husband owned, like, this 3-story house with, like, this big pool, all this shit. She was like, I just work for extra fuck around money. Like, I don't need any of this. So if someone's going to sit there and say, you're being an asshole and I'm going to complain to the person above you, go the fuck ahead. I don't need this job. I'm just calling you out because you're a shit person and you deserve it.
Hell yeah. We love to see it.
I fucking love her, and I'm not going to say names, obviously, but, like, just, I hope you're doing well. I hope whatever, like, karma there is in the universe, I hope it finds its way to you, and I hope I hope you're so happy with everything right now. Like, thank you so much. Like, you have no idea how much it meant for you to stand up for me like that whenever I needed it with people. Like, I appreciate it.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah, like, it made my day whenever it would happen, because I'm not exactly a person to just roll over all the time, especially if I've been pushed a lot, and you're very much the same way. And
oh, you have no idea.
no, I have a little bit of an idea, but like it just happens so often there. So many people come in and they're like, oh, this is a big corporation and I'm an asshole, but they want my money, so I can just mistreat their employees however much I want. And it happened so fucking often, like probably at least 2 to 3 times a day, someone would come up and be an asshole, and I knew I couldn't do shit about it, or I'd get fired or written up or whatever. And Pat, I'm sorry, I said the name, fuck.
Oh, boo.
I know, my bad. She did not take that shit. She just stood up and was like, no. You're not gonna berate him. He needs this job, so he can't say anything. I will say something. And it was so good. And it is. And I don't get this whole, I don't get the idea that the customer is right still being around. I don't get why it's still around. I don't get why it's a thing. Because the customer is not always right. The customer is very rarely right nowadays.
And the customer always asks stupid questions.
Ooh, you have some stupid question stories.
But it's the same stupid question every time. I guess, like, because I am quitting, I work for not much longer at a local donut shop, and the dumbest question that I get asked at least twice a week is, what's the raspberry donut filled with? Beans. It's filled with actual bees.
That you just saying that just reminds me of whatever fucking meme format it is. I'm just like, hey, who ordered the macaroni and bees? Don't you mean cheese? Servers struggling to hold lid on bowl. Oh, you know what? That would make more sense.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
But like, it's so true. Like, I know, I know, I know we live in the Pacific Northwest.
We live in a society.
I did not think that illiteracy was still this rampant.
Yeah, because like I think I mouthed off one time when someone asked. They were like, "What's the raspberry filled with?" And I was like, "Oh, it's filled with cherry." Straight face.
And did they sit there and
And
were
they were
just like, that doesn't make sense.
And they were like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "No, it's filled with raspberries. Do you have any other questions?" And they were like, "No."
Oh my god.
Got something else. Oh my god.
What did you expect to happen? What answer did you expect? I
And then there's another one that
Oh
kind
no.
of like is built off of that, because they would be like, is the so and so filled with anything? And you've heard me say this before, and I practically shout it so that everyone can hear it. I'll go, if the donut is filled with anything, it'll say filled right on the tag. I hope that helps.
Yep, I've heard you say that before.
Loud and clear. But
Yep.
guess what people still ask?
I know. And I would say, like, I would just want a written sign that says it tells you what it's filled with on the fucking, like, tag. People aren't gonna read it. People don't read the tag. Why the fuck would they read the sign telling them to read the tag?
And the amount of people that come in, they're like, I want the pick 13, and I'm like, well, this isn't McDonald's. You want a dozen, right? And they're like, yeah, the pick 13. And I'm like, it's called a fucking dozen. Sorry. It's so heated.
I'm not sorry one bit. That's funny as hell.
I mean, it's funny for you because you don't have to go through it, and also I don't have to go through it anymore.
That's true. Yeah, you're gonna be done.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
There's another thing that, going back to like managers being pushovers and shit like that.
Ooh, lay it on me.
One thing that I do not tolerate. I'm non-binary, but I'm female presenting. So like I get it. Like I use gender neutral and I use feminine pronouns as well. But like some days I want to use one or the other, or I can even use both. But I get that because I'm feminine presenting and I do live, unfortunately, where I live, I can't really go around with a name tag because I'd probably get the shit kicked out of me, unfortunately, because people around here aren't super open-minded.
Yeah.
And so there's one thing that I do not tolerate from anybody, but the only people I don't tolerate it from are the only people that do it, which is stupid, white, old men. And they'll come in and they'll say sweetheart, hun, just anything like that, and I go, don't call me that.
Yep.
And then they fucking get, like, they get butthurt about it. But
Oh yeah.
I'm under that personal belief that, like, you shouldn't be calling anyone that. Those nicknames, those pet names, are reserved for people that you're closest to.
Yeah.
You don't use that on strangers. I don't care if you grew up in the fucking South. Go do it there then. But up here, you're not in the South. So don't do that. It's so creepy. And I remember talking to some of my coworkers and I'm like, hey, does it make you uncomfortable when guys, use these on you? And most of them will go, yeah, a little bit. I don't really like it, but I'm too afraid to say anything. And I tell them, say something, especially when I'm here. Say something, because then if they have a problem with it, they'll have a problem with me. I do not tolerate it. It's so creepy. Don't do that with anyone unless you have a relationship already established with them. Because again, I can't stress this enough. I don't care if that's just what you do. Fix it.
Honestly.
I don't care.
Like the whole idea of like the older generation, oh, it's just how they are, it's how they've grown up. No, 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 no. We, like, as people, are capable of learning and changing our habits and bettering ourselves. Just because you're old and you
You
grew up a
adapt.
certain way, like, that is not an excuse. You can't sit there and be like, oh, it's how I am. Like, congratulations. Change. Get better.
Yeah, and like the excuse that I hate the most is like, well, that was acceptable back in the day. You know, well, they've lived up until now, right?
Yep.
So they know that things are changing.
Oh, yeah.
They can adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone who says it was acceptable back then, it's like, cool. Now is not
It's
back
not
then.
now.
Yeah, this is not that time. You can look around very like the fact that they say it was acceptable back then means that they know and understand it's not acceptable now, but they're refusing to change because they don't want to.
Yeah, they're like, oh well, they're old. They just don't know any better. No, that's not how this works. They're not fucking 4 years old and like
No.
learning not to hit and like scream in public. But of course, adults do that anyway, unfortunately. It's oh my god, you can learn. I have I'm neurodivergent. I have ADHD and I think I might be on the spectrum too. And sometimes out in public I feel like uh-oh, I think I'm getting close to a meltdown. Like I need to get out of here. I need to calm down. I need to relax. I need to tell him like, "Hey, not really doing so good." I've adapted because I know the world won't adapt for me. And it's unfortunate because I don't think it should be that way.
No.
I really don't think that I should have to tell my brain, I know you're wired this way, but like we can't afford to do this right now because it'll be embarrassing, it'll cause a scene. I guess I'm so torn because like I can't help it that my brain is wired that way, but I've gotten so good at masking and telling myself not right now, not right now, not right now, do it later, that I just explode later, and it's not fair.
Yeah. And I understand. Well, I understand as much as I can. You've said it before too with my habits and stuff. You think I might have some undiagnosed ADHD. Um,
I really do, and like I don't think it's as bad as mine, but like I think you might have it. But don't take my word for it. Definitely, when we have health insurance, like go to the doctor.
yeah, and like the more I think about it and the more I look into it, the more I'm actually like I'm pretty inclined to believe you because like there are things like the beginning of this stream, like it was 12:30 in the morning and I was awake thinking about game design stuff and I felt like my brain was going to fucking explode if I didn't talk about it today. I felt like for some reason, if the words didn't leave my mouth, my brain would not be able to stop thinking about it. And that's just that's I don't think that's a thing that, a neurotypical person like deals with. And maybe it is. I don't know. But like
I think there are differences. Like you can be really passionate and like really excited to talk about something, but then like if you feel like you literally cannot rest, you can't think about, you can't do anything else until you get these thoughts out of your head. Those are two different things. Because like
yeah.
being excited to talk about something and literally feeling you can't function until you do something, two different things.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I was feeling. Like I felt this morning, the whole time I was at your work this morning, like just hanging out and saying hi. That's what was on my brain. My brain was just like, you just want to talk about skill trees. We just want to talk about that. We just want to talk about we just want to talk about the design like influences of it and how this one does it better than this one and modern newer games aren't getting it quite right. And it's just like I it hit me while I was sitting there thinking about it at your work. Like, holy crap! Like this doesn't feel like something a normal this doesn't feel like I'm just excited to talk about it because I am, but it feels like I am literally like going to like explode if the words don't leave my mouth. It feels like my brain is going to force me to not be able to sleep unless I get it out.
It kind of shocks me because I told you I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was like 3 or 4, which I think is way too early to diagnose anybody.
Yeah.
But I got diagnosed very early on, and I got put on meds very early on. But it blows my mind because statistically, males get diagnosed much quicker and much easier than females do. So
Yeah.
it kind of like surprises me that like we're the opposite. Like I got diagnosed when I was super young, and it's something I've had to deal with, obviously. But you're just discovering it now in like your late 20s,
Yeah.
which means you must have been really good at like masking it.
I don't I don't think I was good at masking it. I think the problem is that I say problem, like, sure, growing up, like when I was really young, my parents and stuff, like, there were some rough patches. There were some not good times, and I've told you about those.
Oh, trust me, I totally get you. Oh
Yeah,
my god, that could be a whole fucking podcast.
honestly. But like nowadays, aside from the obvious glaring issues, things are, well, at least with me and them, things are a little better. But I think the reason I went undiagnosed for so long is that I wasn't good at masking it. It's the fact that to me and to them, it seemed like I was just exceptionally passionate about whatever I was talking about. It didn't
Oh,
it it
okay.
it didn't feel like, or it didn't seem like, oh, like something is wrong, like he's talking about this a lot and it's like he can't sleep because of it. They're just like, oh man, he's so excited to talk about this, like he's awake, like he wants to talk about it, he's excited, he can't sleep. And
They're like, wow, what a fucking nerd.
yeah, kinda, like, exactly. And it very much is like, the more I look back at it, it's like, wow, I've always felt that way about these things. Like if there's a topic I want to talk about, it very much, like, sure, I'm passionate about it. I don't get this way over something that I don't want to talk about. But it very much is like, looking back on it, yeah, it absolutely was a thing of like, I'm gonna explode if I don't talk about it. And I would talk to my parents and stuff about it, who wouldn't understand a word, who would just sit there and be like, oh wow, you're really passionate about this, like you're really into this. And it's like, yes, I am, but I feel like my head's gonna pop if I don't get it out. And I like, the more and more I really think about it, like, yeah, I think you're right. I think there's some ADHD there.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, and if that's like what it is and stuff, then like, cool, okay. I have a word I can associate with it. I know why I'm that way. It doesn't bother me. And I I feel bad for anyone that does have stuff like this and it does affect their day-to-day life and stuff, because I can say that. I can say that, like, it doesn't bug me. Like, it's just how I am. Like, I get passionate about things and then I have to get it out. And I'm really, really lucky and thankful that I have you, who is willing to like listen and like let me get it all out. And I love you so much because of like little things like that. But like, I do feel really bad for people that have stuff like this, but they don't have that outlet. They don't have that ability to get it out when they want to and when they need to, and like if it affects their daily life. Like, the more I realize like what this is for me, the more it's like, oh man, if I didn't have you, if I didn't have someone to talk to get this out, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't know how it would affect my life. Would I like go days without sleeping? Like, what would happen?
I love you too.
Aw.
And yeah, I mean, I don't. It's not the same for everybody, obviously, but I don't know if you've ever watched me like actually watched me clean something,
Yes.
because I'll start with one thing, and then all of a sudden my mind will think of something else, and I'll go to something else, and then I'll have
Yeah.
to go to something else again, and then I'll go back to the first thing, and then I'll go to the third thing again, and then I'll go to the second thing, and then I'll go to the first thing and finish that, and then I'll finish the third thing, and then I'll finish the second thing. Because
Yeah.
my brain literally can't focus. It'll be like, oh, you're doing this? What about this? You should go do that really quick. Okay, yeah, you're starting that. Sorry, I thought about something else. Can you go do that really quick? It's literally like, I want to get all this done, but it's not going to be like from point A to point B to point C. It'll be like from A to C to F to E to D to A to B. Like,
Sure.
I fucking bounce all over the place. Because, like, I'll get it all done. It just won't be in, like, a straight cohesive line.
Yeah. I think you've probably seen it with me too. Um, the more I think about it, the more I think my, if it is what I have, the ADHD that I have, very much is just verbal, like, word vomiting of whatever's in my brain. And my brain likes to jump topics. Like, you've seen it happen. Like, I could have been talking about skill trees, and something about talking about skill trees would have reminded me of something that happened the other day, and I would have talked about that, and then I would have sat there and went, oh man, like, speaking about that, speaking of, like, the luck stat in this game, I used to carry around a 5 yen coin on my wallet for luck, and I used to use it all the time. And this, yeah, and, like, the story of how that came from this time, like, 12 years ago when I was at a friend's place, and we were at a family reunion, and someone gave it to me, and then I did this, and it's like, that happens to me a lot now that I think about it. It happens a lot, like, when I'm on streams and talking, too. Like, I will jump from topic to topic to topic, and then I realize it's happening, and I have to sit there and go, like, all right, hold. What the fuck was my first point? Right, okay, back to the actual topic at hand, like...
Well, babe, I haven't just seen you do that. I do that all the time, too. We do it together.
It's true, and I think that's what really helps it, too, is, like... You're the first person I've been with and I've seen that does it, like, the same as me. And for some reason, that is just so much of, like, oh my god, I'm not the only one that does this. Like, this is so nice. Thank God.
You feel validated that, like, this isn't just a me thing. Like, there are other people that do this, too.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, I've told you about my... growing up with my brother and stuff, like, he's my best friend now. I love him to death. The more I look back at it and the more I think about it, he never does that. If Derry has a topic he wants to talk about, he is on topic. He talks about that, and he doesn't deviate. Whereas with me, if it's a topic I'm excited about, I am gonna, like, have random memories pop in while I'm on that topic, and I am going to think about them and be like, hold on, I need to deviate. There's this one thing that happened that reminded me of this first topic, and we're gonna talk about that. And then that's, like, it's basically a skill tree, except in the shape of a spider web, and it is my brain jumping from point to point.
We've circled back around to skill trees.
We've gone full circle, ladies and gents, we've done it.
The way that I've always kind of, like, thought about it, like, jumping from topic to topic, is, like, I'm a web browser, and I have multiple tabs open, and they're all interesting, and I need to get through all of them. And also, I can't find the one to close where it's playing the fucking music.
That's fair. That's a very fair way to put it. Like, I guess mine doesn't...
That's how my brain has always been.
Yeah, like, I guess mine doesn't feel like a ton of tabs are open. It feels like as I'm talking, I'm opening new tabs because something that I was reading in the first one made me think of something else to look at. And then I just keep going and opening new ones and talking about it. And then finally I'm like, I have way too many tabs open. I should close all of these but the main one, and then I get back on the main topic.
So you like, Google deep dive.
Basically. Like, I'll Google one thing, and as I'm talking about it, I'll sit there and go, oh, well, that's interesting. I want to know more about this. New tab. Google this thing. Oh, well, that's interesting. I want to know more about this. New tab. Google that thing. And, like, they just, like, it's like opening folder after folder after folder on your PC to get to one thing. And then as soon as you get to the one thing, you're like, oh yeah, I was actually back in this main folder where I need to be to access this thing, and then I go back to that. Like,
That's how people hide their porn.
I mean, fair. It's a good way to do it. But, like...
No, it's not, because everyone knows about it.
Okay, that's fair. I guess the other thing, too, is, like, I talk enough and so much sometimes that, like, I run myself out of breath. Like...
Same.
Yeah, that has happened at least twice during this stream where I've had to sit here and just be like, it's like I have to mute myself for a second because I need to, like, take in air to continue talking. And, like, the more I think about it, it's just like, oh my god. Like, I really might have, so, like, undiagnosed ADHD. And, like, again, I'm really lucky I have someone to like bounce it off of and talk about it with, and it's wonderful.
Oh yeah, I've had more than my fair share of experiences. The thing with me is like when I went on my first rant about like the service industry, my throat like felt sore because I was going so fast, and I had to like unclench and like untense and calm myself down for it to like not feel sore.
Yeah, like it happens to me on stream a lot. Ironically, given what we're doing, um, I will run myself out of breath constantly when I'm on stream and talking about stuff. Like fuck, the stream from a few days ago where I was talking about like VR shooters and all the little details and stuff, I think I ran myself out of breath at least 3 times during that stream. Talking about like all the design stuff and the stuff that had been on my mind and like sharing memories with Shrub Soda and chat, like I ran myself completely out of breath. Like I felt like I had just like been jogging. I felt like I had sat there and been like, oh fuck, I forgot something in my car, and I sprinted out to get it and came back, and then I had to sit there and just like, oh, okay, all right, we're good. We can keep going now.
Yeah, but then like as you're like calming yourself down, your brain is like, no, 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 go, 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 go. Like there's still more stuff that you need to get out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, I know you need breath to make noises to come out of your mouth, but like we're on a schedule. We gotta go. Come on.
We're on a tight deadline.
Yeah, my brain is like I printed an itinerary and you're not sticking to it.
Yeah, it's a very high possibility that you have undiagnosed ADHD. So, welcome to the club.
All right, cool. Well, if that is what I've got, again, hella grateful I have you to bounce that off of and to help me with it and understand it. And again, I it's interesting really to think about because I never thought it would be something like that. I thought I was just really talkative and passionate about certain topics, but I don't feel like it's normal to literally run your lungs out of oxygen talking about them.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Now, like, did you ever, silly question, oh my god, see, this is another part of my ADHD. Um, did you ever, or do you, hyper fixate on things? Like, you get a topic and you're like, this is all I'm gonna talk about, think about, and, like, just, like, take in for whatever amount of time, and then you kind of drop it. Like, it's not like you're not interested anymore, you're just like, I have found something new, or like, I'm kind of bored right now.
The more I think about it, and you've absolutely seen it, when I get on a Fantasy Star kick, it is big. Like when I start thinking about really playing Fantasy Star Online or something, it is a big, huge like I am gonna play Fantasy Star Online for the GameCube, and I'm gonna play Portable 2 for the PSP on an emulator, and I'm gonna play Zero on the game or on the Nintendo DS, and I'm gonna play Online 2 on Steam. And New Genesis came out, and Keith has been talking about a new update, so I'm gonna hop on that. And now it's night, and you're going to bed, and so I'm gonna boot up the GameCube one, and I'm gonna play that again. And I'm gonna Google drop rates for enemies and stuff, so I know where to go to farm items. And like it goes on, and then eventually after a few days, I'll just stop and just like I feel like playing Diablo instead today, and I won't touch anything Phantasy Star related for like a week.
I all the signs point to yes.
And again, if that's what that is, then like okay, honestly it feels a little better having like a name to put to it if that's what it is. And I feel the same way about like any time I've ever been like really sick or something and they're like, oh, it's this. It's like, oh, cool. We know what it is. That's good.
And by having a name, you now have a point of like attack. Like, here's how I can deal with it. And I guess like we're not confirming that you do have it right now because I'm not licensed to do that. But if you do, I feel so grateful that I can be here for you because my parents did not know what to do with me, and that gave me a lot of bad stuff growing up.
Right.
So I've had to learn on how to treat myself when I am feeling that way. because they didn't know what to do with me, and it just was not a good time. So
No.
I'm thankful that I can be here for you to help guide you through, to be like, no, you're not crazy, you're not weird, this is normal.
Yeah. And I really appreciate it too, because like it's I feel fortunate because I didn't get any of the bad stuff from my parents not knowing. It's like I said, it looked like I was just so passionate about it that I needed to talk about it with someone. And it makes more and more sense on why I do the Diablo 3 rant so much and why I do these other things. Like, it's absolutely my brain fixating on that and just not letting go of it until I get it out, until I talk about it, until the words leave my mouth. God, it all makes so much more sense now.
Do you feel a little bit better?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Yay!
Woo!
How long have we been going for?
It's a good question. Let me check. We've been going for about an hour and a half.
That's it? It feels like longer.
I know, right? That means it's. Let me look over at the microwave. About 1:30.
I was gonna say, I could just look at my watch.
Oh
It's
shit, that's
1:35.
true. 1:35. That's not bad. God knows I've got plenty of time until I have to go where I'm going today.
Yeah, same. Now, do you have any questions for me about ADHD or anything?
Not particularly.
Or any questions you think would be interesting for the viewer?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. You have, kind of again, you're come on, brain. You and I, neither of us. Well, okay, you were diagnosed, right, with ADHD when you were little.
Yeah, at 4 years old, yeah.
At 4. Um, what would you, well, if you remember much of it, what would you describe the process of being diagnosed like?
I don't think my brain had turned on yet. Um, just because you reach a certain age, and that's when you start holding on to memories.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't remember being diagnosed. I just remember, I remember feeling different from my other classmates because actually, I might have been diagnosed a little bit older. I think I got diagnosed when I was either in or out of kindergarten, so like maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
I think that's around that age. So, but that's still pretty young to be
Yeah.
diagnosed. Because, like, you're still a kid and you're still just bouncing off the walls or whatever. But I just remember feeling different because in grade school, actually up until like 7th or 8th, actually no, up until 7th grade, I would have to go to the nurse's office at a certain time and go get more of my medicine to calm me down because I would take a dose in the morning before I left for school and then a dose in the middle of the day.
Right.
And it was way too high for someone my age. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was like I was a fucking zombie. Like I would just go into like robot mode. Um, so yeah, I can only describe it as like sad because the medicine that I took in the morning would wear off at around maybe like 10:30 or 11, like
Mm-hmm.
right around when you normally have lunch in grade school. And so like my personality would come out and I would start talking to people and trying to make friends and trying to be funny. And then after lunch, I would go right back into robot mode again.
Oh.
And I think that's I hate to be a bummer, but I think that's why I didn't have a lot of friends because people were like, "Oh, she's weird."
Oh yeah, I get that. Okay. 'Cause, yeah, I do remember you always telling me that like you hated the meds, you hated the way they made you feel and all of that. Um, God, I guess I don't know. Do you have any like advice for anyone who thinks that they might be ADHD? Do you?
It really depends on how old they are. because I can't give advice to literal children who are still under the thumb of their parents. And I guess to give advice to their parents, just be patient.
Yeah.
Be kind, be understanding. Like, I know it's gonna be tough some days, but you're gonna do them a huge favor just trying to, like, just sitting them down and trying to understand. And for anyone that's finding out in their late teens or like early 20s, like in your early adult years, just don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to do your own research. If you think you might have it, do your own research online. Obviously, unreliable sources, and
Yeah.
you know, make notes. Write down everything that that you think kind of like correlates to you. Then take it to your doctor, your psychiatrist, your psychologist, anyone that you trust, and be like, hey, this is what I experience, and I see it's also overlapping with this. Like, what do you think? Like, what can I do? And also, never ever feel pressured to take medicine for it. I know some people take the two biggest ones are Ritalin and Adderall. I was on Ritalin from age 6 to 11 or 12.
Yeah.
I personally don't like it. I would never go on it ever again. But that is a choice to make between you and your physician. But don't ever feel pressured. If you think you can power through it, do it. Like, because I have tricks for myself to get stuff done. Like I brought up earlier, if I'm cleaning, I know that it's okay that if I start on one thing, it's okay to go to another thing, because I know that I'm going to come back to the first thing.
Yeah.
Did you forget? But again, that works for me. It's not going to work for everybody else. So just don't be afraid to ask questions. Make notes. Do what you need to do to feel comfortable, and then go to your physician and then talk about it.
Sure. Okay. Huh. All right. And oh my God, my brain completely fucking forgot what it was just about to say. Neat. Neat.
Oh no.
Good job, brain. Good looking out, buddy. Oh man, it's interesting and wild, and I keep like, this is completely off track from anything we were just talking about. Like, the more we like hang out in this little world in this little studio, the more it just reminds me of like, we need to get like more people like to hang out with in VR, because I'd love to do this again, but with like 4 people all like talking about random shit. 4 of us, fucking
Hell
gamers
yeah.
and shit.
Gamers.
Gamers.
Ow, I hurt my shoulder.
Like, I love doing this though. There's something about like sitting in this world that looks like an actual studio and doing this with you that just like, it feels right. Something just feels so cool about it. Not that I ever mind doing this like with you in real life, sitting on the futon in our studio, because that's just fun.
Oh, dude, Raul's in chat.
Raoul's got, okay, there's something messed up with my chat window on my wrist here then, because I don't see it. Raoul.
He says, you're medically diagnosed as both being badasses per Dr. Rad, whose medical qualifications is the ability to put doctor in front of my name. That's awesome.
Dr. Rad, thanks for looking out, buddy. Also, how you been, man? I'm glad to hear from you. It's been a little bit. I want to ask you how your holidays.
I can't look at chat.
I know. Well, hold on. I might actually have a workaround for that. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm gonna go all hovery and weird for a minute, but it'll be worth it.
I'll tell them about my stupid, dumb, square brain and how it just looks fun.
I fucking love you.
Stealing from Noodle and ice cream sandwich. I love you too. Well, I don't know if you're still in chat, but like, thank you. We've missed you. This was kind of like a last minute thing, so everything's not up to par. We apologize.
Okay.
We're doing our best.
And that's all that matters. All right. Oops, not what I want.
Oh man, he's fucking up. Look at him go.
I know. How dare I?
Oh, fuck, I have hair in my face.
Oh no. Oh my god. Kuro
Oh,
Okami.
no. Yeah!
Oh, there we
They,
go.
they were the ones that told us that, that your audio was all fucked up.
Which I really appreciate them doing.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still in chat, but thank you!
Yeah, honestly, thank you so much. Okay, how do I pin this? Can I
Very
pin it
carefully.
to... You know what? That's a fair point. Okay, well, that's not ideal, so never mind that.
Oh gosh. Should I even ask?
I can pin it to my left hand. Oh my god, wait a minute. What am I doing? I can take care of this. Hold the fucking phone.
He says, I'm usually at work when you're on, but I try to support you, my dude.
Aw, I love you, buddy. You're the best.
You guys are so fucking sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so now let me see. Hey, there we go. I can see it now. We're good.
Yay! We have chat! So I can stop taking off my headset to look at my monitor.
Yes, you can. And thank you, Raul, for doing that, for trying to support me and everything. I really appreciate it. It's really nice. And I know you don't have to do it, but I know you do anyways because you love me and you love us, and we love you too, man. It's been good to hear from you. I hope your holidays went really well. And we need to hang out, my dude.
Even if it's in VR.
Even if it's in VR, get yourself a VR headset. Actually, you don't even need a VR headset. Download VRChat. You can hang out with us here in the studio.
Yeah. It's free.
It's free. It's a free download. You download it. You can play on desktop, just mouse and keyboard, but you can come hang out. Cop a chair here in the studio with us. Like we can all have fun. Yes, much hangout. I agree.
Yeah.
I very much agree.
I mean, actually, I'm the one that's paying for VRChat because I have VRChat Plus.
That's true. Oh yeah, you know what? Tell me what you like about VRChat Plus so far.
I like the avatar slots. I like that you get 100 and not 25.
Yeah, that is something I will probably have to invest in just for that here in a little bit.
And also, just like having a bio is really nice.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of a double-edged sword though, because I don't think we've talked about this on stream, but like within the past it's probably like 5 or 6 months now. I've developed a sensitivity in my eyes to where flashing lights just bug the hell out of me, and I have not pushed it further than that because even though he's trained to handle seizures, I don't want to have one.
Yeah. I don't want you to have one either because they're terrifying.
Yeah, so like it's kind of nifty to be able to like actually I'll pull up my bio right now and read what it says.
Yeah, and while you do that really quick.
30...
Oh,
yeah?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Raul, I gotta work on that live.gg thing. It's confusing as hell for me too. But I am so sorry. Please go on.
No, you're fine. So it's 30 taken, and in here it also says that I am epileptic. I have not been diagnosed, but from everything that I have read, I'm leaning towards that I am probably epileptic. And as soon as I have the insurance, I'll go to an optometrist or a doctor or whoever you need to see and be like, what the fuck's wrong with my eyes? So it's a double-edged sword because like it's good to let people know, but people on here are bastards. So like it has not happened, but I'm waiting for it to happen where someone sees it and then they do it on purpose.
Yep. Yeah, and I hate to say it because I'm usually an optimist and I believe in the good of people and the heart of the cards and all that stuff, but like you're right. There's going to be people that are like, "Oh, they're epileptic. I want to find out if that's true. I want to see what happens." And they'll put out an avatar that's just flashing and strobing lights and they go, "Is it working? Is it working? Are you epileptic? Like what's happening? Like what does it feel like?" And
Yeah.
I hate it.
I mean, luckily like you can modify your safety settings. So that's nice.
Honestly. Oh, Raul, you cheeky fuck. He says, "Oh no, Cyclosis, you'll have to monitor how much you smile. You'll brighten her day, but give her a seizure."
Uh, they.
They. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
No, babe, it's totally fine. It's just like, again, I don't think Raul he hasn't been here for that journey because it's our personal lives, so I can't
Yeah,
be mad. It'd be silly to be mad.
that's true. Oh, that's true. I could substitute the smiles with a smirk or pats on the head or pasta.
Dude, pats on the head while I'm eating pasta.
You're going down the right road, Raul. You see? You see? You're helping me out. You're wingmanning me.
Also, really quick little side note, just pasta. I want pasta shells with Campbell's cream of chicken and tuna. That sounds
Ooh.
really good.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely have to look into that for one of these upcoming nights because that does sound really good.
I mean, we can go get tuna today.
That's true. We can do that.
Oh no, you're going to your parents' house for dinner. Never mind. We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
Totally
true.
forgot.
I am doing that. Oh my God. But yeah, like, brain, don't do this to me right now. Don't. Maybe I need this little. Damn it! I didn't do anything. Fuck. Anyway.
What you need is less coffee because I gave you way too much today.
Yeah, I might have done it. Oh, and Raul says, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your pronouns. That was my bad.
Dude, don't worry about it. Again, like if you don't like if I don't go around, well, actually, okay, I'm not gonna go around announcing it, but like, you know, if you don't know, you can't feel bad because you didn't do anything wrong. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it, my dude. I am trying my best, and I hope you see that. I still slip up, and I hope you aren't like mad at me or upset at me when I do, because I want to do as good as I can on it.
This is still new because it was back in like, oh my, I can't remember what month. Was it like September of this past year or like July?
I think it was right about September because that's right about when I started Best Buy, and I think that's right about when you started preferring that.
Yeah, and because I kept reading up about it, and I'm like, you know what, this fits me a lot better, and oh god, excuse me. Sorry. I actually prefer the they them when I've been at work because I am female presenting, so everyone uses those, and I just get so fucking tired of it that after I come home from work, I'm like, gender neutral all around, baby.
That's fair.
I can't be fucking called that other shit. It's so annoying right now. And that's not to say that I'll never go by those again. It's what I prefer in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't expect everyone to read my mind because that's just unrealistic.
Yeah, absolutely. Rawl says pronouns implies there's amateur league nouns.
There are.
There really are.
That's actually me, right? I haven't been bumped up yet. I'm still trying to get my score up. I'm in my rookie numbers right now. Sorry. Damn it.
You know what I also just realized when we were wondering what time it was?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a fucking clock right up there.
Oh shit. For some reason I was like, that's the amount of time we've been in the world, right?
No, we definitely have not been in here for 13 hours.
Oh my god. That'd be
yeah.
kind of insane though.
Amateur nouns: pleb, knave, peasant, mortal.
Peasant. Pissant.
Peasant.
Of the Nuzlocke we watched last night.
Yeah, we were watching, there's a YouTuber / Twitch streamer named CDogVA. He's wonderful. Check him out. He's amazing. He did a Pokemon Nuzlocke that we watched the other night, and he named one of his Pokemon in the Nuzlocke Peasant, but he spelled it wrong. And so he started going off like, maybe I should just start naming Pokemon like variations of peasant, pissant, pesante.
Can you get presente?
Can you get presente from Pokemon? Oh god.
Freddy, did I just see a child climb into your stomach? I'm pregnant.
I forgot how much that one got me. Like,
Oh my god, God, I love Security Breach. That game is broken beyond all belief. It's barely a game, but I still love it.
Yeah, part of me wants to play it to experience it, and the other part of me has watched people play it and is just like, no. No, 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 no,
That
no.
game is $40, and it's barely functioning. It's not worth the $40 yet.
See, that's exactly where I was going with that. I was like, I've watched other people play it, and whether they got it for free from Steel Wool Studios or they paid the $40, shit ain't worth $40.
No, I still love it, but it's not worth the 40.
No, it is not. And it's such a bummer too, because like, I'm not gonna lie, I like the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I think it's really interesting. It's got really cool like twists, and the animatronics are neat. And it's a fucking spider web that would send any normal sane person like spiraling down a rabbit hole. Yeah, exactly. It would send them spiraling down the rabbit hole, which is why I guess we have Matt Pat, the insane fuck. But
Thank God.
the more I look at Security Breach, the more it's just like, wow, they did not have the budget for this, did they?
But like, to be a fly on the wall, to be like, what happened? Because you look at that first trailer, and it's not the game that we got. So like, I want to know. I want to know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm so curious.
They pulled an E3 and they show the trailer and it's amazing, and then when the game comes out, everyone's like, what happened? And they're just like, you didn't think the trailer was the real thing, did you?
Yeah, they're like, you didn't see that disclaimer? Not actual gameplay?
Honestly. Ooh, Rawl says, let me get this straight. Humans reproduce in a multiple-day ceremony of blood and pain. It's one of his favorite Lucifer quotes.
Wait, what?
Oh, oh my god, my brain, again. Oh, when we were talking about, like, being pregnant and stuff.
Oh, I was like, I'm so confused as to what the context for this is.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched that show in forever, Rawl. I don't know if the newer seasons are, like, decent or not.
Well, we tried watching the new, season 4, and it was boring.
That's true. It definitely did start boring. We don't know if it got any better because we just stopped.
They jumped the shark at the end of season 3.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And God, what? You know what show we have been watching little bits and pieces of a lot lately? Golden Girls.
Dynasty?
Well, that too.
Oh.
Both are good.
Oh yeah, I freaking love the Golden Girls and Dynasty. Oh, I love that, like, you joined me, like, you just hop in with me, even though, like, I finished season 1 without you, and then you just hopped into season 2 with me, and I explained everything to you, and you were like, what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, like, speaking of jumping the shark, I feel like Dynasty is a show that literally, like, they sound like, cool, we jumped the shark. Where do we get a bigger shark to jump?
Well, this Dynasty is actually a remake from an old soap opera of the same name. I think it aired in like the 70s or 80s.
I think.
So it's a reboot.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, but like, you can definitely tell that it is like old soap opera like vibes, because holy shit, the amount of like, oh, lost son presumed dead, now he's here but he's not the real son, and this lady who is faking her illness to get into this house to try to rob them of this with fake art, and the mother that's been absent and is a total bitch that's been stealing said art and hiring the guy that was faking the son. Like, hold on.
That's not even all accurate.
I know, and that's the problem.
I mean, spoilers for Dynasty, but so in season 2, at the start, Crystal was shot by Claudia, who was being taken care of by Crystal in season 1, but then quit her job to join Carrington Atlantic, which is owned by the main family. and then got bumped up to COO by her new husband. I'm now lost. I forgot where I was going. Oh my god. Oh, it's just, oh god. If you have nothing to do, and you just want to like, if you just want to watch something where you're gonna go, wait, what? But still be invested. Dynasty is on Netflix, and it's honestly so much fun. I only started watching because of the actor that plays Fallon, Elizabeth Gillies, who was in Victorious and played my favorite character, Jade West. I was like, oh, she's in this. I have to watch this.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I love her so much.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. All right, let's see. Oh god, come on. Okay, so I can't scroll. Well, maybe I can. No, I can't scroll chat like that.
Chat?
Yeah, let me. Now I'm in the window where I can scroll. Here we go.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
You're about to buy a VR set and fight this whole room. That's fair.
Oh, that's what's up.
You know what? You would definitely be able to speak on this. Let me get VRChat back up. Rawl is asking, what are your thoughts on Legends Arceus so far? Rawl is asking, what are your thoughts on Legends Arceus so far?
It's kind of boring. To me, it was advertised as an open world Pokemon game, and I was like, ooh, like Zelda. And then I saw the trailers, and I was like, ooh, like Zelda. And then I bought it, and I was like, ooh, not like Zelda, but like the older Zelda. It's not like Breath of the Wild, it's like Ocarina of Time. And nothing makes me softer than Ocarina of Time.
It's very, from what I've watched of you play it, it's very, very hand-holdy, like Sword and Shield was. And that's the shit thing, is that Sword and Shield is the best Pokemon game I think I've ever played. But the amount of hand-holding and how long it takes for you to finally be able to, like, I just want to do things. I just want to be able to go out and do things and have fun. The amount of hours it takes for you to hit that point is more than a little obscene.
Sword and Shield didn't do that though. Like, I think the tutorial was only like, if you didn't skip through all the dialogue boxes, the tutorial was maybe like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I am still in the tutorial for this new one. I'm still in it, and I've played like 4 hours.
That's true. You have, yeah.
They give you this dope ass wild area to go through to like get your bearings, and you have these fucking like check marks, and it's like, hey, talk to this person, get information on this, blah blah blah. It's just like, you give me this dope ass world. I hate to quote Aaron on this. He's such a douche. But if you're in an open world and you're going from point A to point B, you're no longer a pioneered adventure. You're being taken on a tour. And that's boring. No one likes that.
Yeah. And it's such a bummer because, like, watching you play it and seeing the world and seeing the new mechanics for catching Pokemon and stuff, like, it excited the hell out of me. I was like, oh my god, fuck yeah, I can finally just, like, sneak up on a Buizel and, like, throw the Pokeball at him to catch it and that, or, like, oh, to start a fight with a Pokemon, I actually have to throw my Pokemon out at it and then start the fight. And you can freely move around during the fight, too, and get different angles and stuff, and, like, do all of that, and it looks so cool. But yeah, just watching you play, it's like, go here, do what Ray tells you. Cool. Go here. Do what Ray tells you. Okay. Go here. Do what Ray tells you again. It's like, and the last two things that he's told you to do have been the same thing, but with different words. Like, here's how you do research tasks on this Pokemon. Cool. You did the thing he asked. You go talk to him again in a different spot. Oh, you did the research task? That's good. Let's try it again with a different Pokemon. It's like, you want me to do the same thing. The same thing, just with a different Pokemon that's going to act exactly like... You're not letting me do these things and discover them organically. You're like, here's the Pokedex. Here's how you do research. Good job. Let me take your hand and take you over to this Pokemon. Now do it again. I want to make... do it again. I want to make sure you know how to do it. It's like, guys, don't advertise a huge open world, a true open Pokemon game, if you're going to sit there and hold our hands the whole time and make sure we know how to push each button on the controller and know what it does.
And also, if I could harp on this formula really quick, we all know Pokemon. We've all played at least one game. I don't think I'll really count Pokemon Go, because that's
That's
fair.
fair.
Go is kind of in its own genre, but the ones on the handheld systems, now the ones that are on the consoles, they've all followed the same formula. Now, does it get a little repetitive, a little stale? Yeah, a little bit, but they spice it up enough for it to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think what I'm regretting the most about buying Legends is that no gyms.
Yep.
This is like, we don't know a lot about Pokemon. We gotta find out. So, like, I don't like being given tasks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I'm used to the old I'm probably sounding like a fucking boomer right now, but I'm used to the old formula, and I honestly kind of miss it. Because I like going, okay, it's this kind of gym. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to make a team around, you know, this, or I'm gonna have to get, like, TMs and TRs, you know, for, like, this Pokemon, like, so I can have, like, a fighting chance. Like, you strategize. Even though this is an offense-only household, we still strategize here. we don't use buffs. We don't use debuffs. We don't do that shit. But being given research tasks, that's fucking boring. I'm not a Pokemon breeder.
Yeah, like...
I just, what the fuck, like, I don't even know what the main story is. You're just telling me to, like, ooh, observe, look. Now, I will admit, running into that alpha Rapidash...
Oh my god.
Terrifying. I nearly shit myself, it was so terrifying.
Yeah, that was horrifying. I think, like, I'm curious to see where the main storyline goes. The only problem is that so far, the way that they're presenting it, you have to slog through the game telling you, this is how you do this. Now do it again so I can make sure you did your homework right. Now do it one more time because we need this form in triplicate. Like, you have to slog through that so far just to even figure out what in the fuck is going to happen in the story. And I don't like the idea of doing that. I really don't.
I'm right there with you because, like, there are certain forms of repetition that I can, like, get behind because I am kind of a creature of habit, and that's a part of my ADHD. But, like, when it's repetition that I don't care about, I feel like I just wasted $40.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, I could have bought food with that money. Granted, I had some, like, of the gold points from the Nintendo store saved up, so that took, like, $11 or $12 off that purchase.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I still feel like I wasted money. Because it's like, I'm not having fun. And that's what games are supposed to be. They're supposed to be fun.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, hi. Oh, geez, that's a big box. All right, let's see. First off, thank you, Lady Warden, for hopping in and saying hi. And yeah, and you're welcome for the follow. Like, of course, you're one of my friends. I'm gonna support you. Thank you for following and supporting me when I stream and popping in whenever you can. I'm really, like, I saw your Facebook post and I commented on it, and then I popped over to your Twitch page and saw one of the videos you had saved, and, like, your stream looks good. Like, it looks fantastic. Like, you're doing great. I love the V. Yeah, I love the VTuber vibe. Like, that's so cool. Like, I wasn't expecting you to dive into VTubing, but I love it. That's awesome. I'm all about it. But of course I'm gonna support you. Like I said, you're one of my friends. Let's see. No one thinks about getting... Oh, that's fair. Well, Rawl says, like, you know, it's interesting because safaris are basically being taken on tours, like when you're in the Jeep and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. And, like, and also me, like, I will be honest, me kind of shitting on this game with my opinions does not mean that anyone else can't enjoy it. I'm just not having a very fun time. I'm gonna keep going with it because I do want to have fun, but as of right now, like, it's kind of a slog. But anyone else who loves it, I'm so happy for you because games are supposed to be fun. They're meant to be, you're just meant to have fun, and that's what games are supposed to be, and that's what I want to have with this. So I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, and I hope you and I talked about it last night very briefly, like for an open world, finally open world Pokemon game where you're free to run and explore and do all that shit. Nintendo, why can't our Pokemon follow us when they're outside of their Pokeball?
Honestly, like that's a mechanic that I know they didn't introduce it in Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, but like that game was so bare bones. It was basically just like a reskin, a recopy of fucking like Red and Blue, which you can't do for any of the other games. Like,
Yep.
come on. And Isle of Armor did not count.
No.
Because you didn't have
No.
a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Like they introduced, like, quote unquote, introduced in Sword and Shield through DLC the ability to let your Pokemon follow you around only in the wild areas though. And it's like I guess this is like a step in the right direction. But then we saw all the trailers for Pokemon Arceus, and it looks so cool. And like, it's like, oh, we can ride our Pokemon. We can use them to like get across lakes. Like, of course they're gonna let us take the Pokemon out of their balls, and they can follow us. And they let you take your Pokemon out of their balls, but all you can do is kneel in front of them and say hi, and then like they just stand still. Like they don't follow you. They don't do anything. It's like what? Because how cool would it be if your Pokemon followed you around when it's outside of its ball? And so that instead of starting a fight by throwing your Pokemon at it, like, you could just run up to the Yeah, exactly. You could get
him.
Yeah, you could get within range and it instantly just pops up with like, hey, what move do you want to use on this Pokemon? Or do you want to keep like running and avoid it? Like, that would be so cool. Instead of like, I want to start a fight, I'm going to throw you out. It's just like, hey, I already have like a Growlithe out and next to me. Like, as soon as we get close to a Pokemon, I just want to be like, quick attack his ass. Like, just do that.
Yeah, like I would love it if you had like your first Pokemon out with you, and you didn't notice it, but you got a little bit too close to a wild one, and this prompt comes up and it's like, oh, so and so Pokemon has been alerted to a wild Pokemon. They're ready to fight. Do you wanna fight?
Yeah.
And then be like, no, and then like you have to like sprint away.
Yeah. Well, one, I don't have a PS5 RAW, which is a bummer. So unfortunately, I cannot add you. I don't even have my PS4 anymore. I got rid of it a long time ago. We have yours, and I guess I could always sign into my Sony account on that one.
Yeah, fucking go ahead.
And Lady Warden is not Mercy. It's still one of our friends from college. I will message you over Facebook with who it is, unless they just feel like saying it in the chat. But I'll message you on Facebook who it is, and yeah, you know, still feel free to go follow and do whatever, because she's great and she's wonderful, and you know, it's all a fun time. Show some support, but yeah, it's not Mercy. It is not.
We support our streamer friends in this household.
Damn right we do. And like, if VRChat didn't run like ass on computers, I would absolutely use VRChat as a way to do VTubing. I would just use this model.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can like use this. You'd have to do some like
Well,
fiddling, but
actually that's true.
I don't think it'd be impossible.
No, that's true. I'll have to look into it, because VTubing has like always interested me. But at the same time, like, I like the webcam setup because we have the nano leaves in the studio that look fucking cool, and we want to keep decking it out with like RGB strips and stuff, and like, it's not like I'm afraid to show my face. Like, I do it on the internet constantly. So
I mean, you could also just like how am I meaning to say this? You can have this model, but you could also like animate like a background for your model too that looks like the studio.
that's a fair point. Hell, I could even just take a picture of the studio from that angle and just green screen the background behind this avatar.
Exactly.
That's a fair point. Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, Raul absolutely agrees. Like, they could do that. Pokemon that are out, you could just hold a button and spring a wheel out and choose one of your 4 moves to use on a nearby Pokemon, and then they could just engage. Like, the game already has, now that I think about it, Raul, if you hold left trigger, you lock on to a Pokemon in front of you. Like, if you have a Pokemon out, you could just hold left trigger, and then it pops up a little wheel with all 4 moves, and you could just flick the right stick toward the one you want to use and attack it. Like, they could do that. They could absolutely do that. But they didn't. And it's fucking stupid.
You actually said it perfectly last night. You're like, I can't believe Nintendo copied their own homework, but did it worse.
Yeah, exactly. They copied Breath of the Wild. They literally looked at the design sheet for Breath of the Wild. They were just flipping through it. They were just like, big open world, cool, all right, tons of room to explore, like wildlife, all this like cel-shaded graphics, collectibles everywhere to use for crafting and items and stuff. Like, wow, you know what? This would make a great Pokemon game. But we're gonna, like, should we add in these features that, like, make sense for the world and that players probably really want? Nah, we'll be fine. We'll just copy straight off Breath of the Wild. It'll be fine.
But then they did it worse.
They did. Breath of the Wild and that giant open world, like, where it's just you and all that stuff, that makes sense for Breath of the Wild setting. And this setting and everything makes total perfect sense for Pokemon, but I think for whatever reason they were still in that Breath of the Wild mindset, and that's why they fucked up. I think they were absolutely like, let's combine Breath of the Wild and Pokemon together, but not improve on the actual Pokemon aspect of it. Because, like you said, you hate being given tasks. And so far, that's the objective of the game, is, oh, I caught this Pokemon. Here is a literal checklist of things I have to do to research this Pokemon. I need to see it use this move 10 times. I need to have it beat a Pokemon with an electric type move this many times. I need to see it evolve 3 times. I need to catch both this version and this region's variant twice. Like, so far that's the objective. That's literally the only objective you've been given so far, is like catch Pokemon and then look at the big checklist you get on your fucking like clipboard and start crossing them off.
It's so goddamn boring.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah, Raw, exactly. It's Task Simulator. That's what it is so far. And I really don't doubt that as you follow along with the story and stuff, it'll get better. But for right now,
what
yeah.
Story? I hate to be an asshole, but what story?
That's true. But like, so far, it absolutely is like, welcome to the big open world. Step 1, go do what Ray tells you. Step 2, go do what he tells you over here. Step 3, and this one might throw you for a loop, go do what he tells you over here.
But then there are also side quests.
Yes, there's
They're boring.
Yeah, I don't remember what it even was that, like, there's one person you went to talk to ask them about their side quest, and it was some basic ass, like, oh, get me berries, bring them back. It's just like,
Yeah, my Pokemon needs this kind of berries. Can you bring them to me? It's like side quest, and I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to go get berries? Because it's pretty easy. You go outside, and you throw your Pokemon at a tree, and it knocks the berries onto the ground, and you get them. Like, I don't understand why I have to go do this for you. Like, give me cool side quests. Like, hey, there's an alpha Pokemon that's been, like, terrorizing other, like, friendlier Pokemon near the village that we need because they, like, they harvest or pollinate or whatever, and we need that alpha Pokemon taken care of. Give me that stuff. Give me a reason to go try to fuck up that fucking alpha Ponyta or Rapidash or whatever. Give me a reason to go look at that Pokemon and be like, you're fucking next, bud. You're fucking next. But no, it's just like, I want berries.
Yeah, I hopefully it'll get better, but
yeah.
I hate to stop you, but my stomach feels really terrible, so I need to hop out.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and call the stream here then, because we're at about 2 hours and 18 minutes in.
Alright, sorry everybody. I'm not feeling too great. But thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you again, Lady Warden, for popping in and saying hi for a minute. Raul, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate you. You're fantastic. I cannot, for the life of me, remember who popped in first and let us know that the audio was messing up, and also tipped a bunch of bits to us. I really appreciate that. That's awesome.
It was Kuro Okami 1400. You're a real one.
Honestly, thank you so much. You definitely didn't have to tip the bits to let us know that the audio was off, but I really appreciate you doing it. Help support the stream and make shit like this possible, where you get to listen to us rant in VR. But yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely do this again.
Yes, I love this. Raul, if you download VRChat, even without a VR headset, I recommend it. Find yourself an avatar or whatever, and you can join us in here, and we'd love to have you.
This could be you.
Yeah, this could be your chair. You could reach over and be like, oh yeah, you like that? You like when I rub your... Anyway.
I'm gonna hop out now.
Okay, well, we're gonna go, and I love you, and I will see you later.
Be good, everyone.